Gamers, how's it going? So today we're going to be talking about a different build of White Forest, which is Centur-Ion White Forest. So I already made a video talking about pure White Forest. In my opinion, pure White Forest is just Toybox White Forest. I think you should always basically be playing Toybox with White Forest, except maybe in the runic build. We'll see when I try that one out. That's probably the last one that I'm going to try for a deck profile on this channel, just because I don't have a ton of faith in runic in this game right now, but that's besides the point. Today we're talking about the Centur-Ion variant. So as you can see here, the package I'm running for Centur-Ion is not very big. It's very similar to actually it's the same Centur-Ion package that I was running in my Gen X Centur-Ion deck that I made. Generally speaking, you don't want to normal summon Primera or Trudea, and you're kind of just using this package as either a way to bait out interruption or as something that you can just jump into from your regular White Forest combo. It's very, very easy to get into level 12 synchros using the White Forest engine. So they actually serve each other really, really well. There's so much synergy here. Not to mention, Astellar can discard a spell or trap and, well, send a spell or trap to the grave from field or hand. And she can actually summon Primera with her effects because she summons a light spellcaster tuner from your deck. So being able to summon Primera, there are scenarios where you're actually not even going to be summoning the Sylvie, and you're going to be going straight for a Primera in some niche scenarios. I do think this is a great build for the deck. At first, I thought that the pure variant was better, well, the variant that I showed last time. And at this point, I'm kind of conflicted. I feel like they're so close that it's really, really hard to tell. Basically, going first, I would say this variant is a little bit better, just because the Centur-Ion cards help bait out interruption and play through a bit more interruption. But I will say, in terms of like draws, I would say the other variant that I showed, the more pure variant, is actually a bit better, just in the sense that there's like less like one-ofs that you don't want to draw. You know, in this deck, you don't really want to draw Trudea, you don't want to draw Primera, you don't want to draw the Wake Up Centurion, you don't want to draw Phalanx. So there's a there's a lot of one-ofs in this deck that don't feel that great to draw, generally speaking. It's some give and take. Also, I'd say the extra deck is a bit less loose because you have to run, you know, the whole synchro package for the 12s. So like that takes up quite a bit of space in your extra deck, and so you lose a bit of flexibility. So you're not losing that much, but you know, it is something to take into consideration. But definitely going first, this deck is insane, has so much gas, the engines go so well together. You're still running the toy engine. I know that some people might say that it's a bit win more, and it might be better off to replace it with like board breakers or whatever, but I don't really agree. This engine is so insane. It's so good in the grind game. It's so good going second. It also helps bait out interruption, so I definitely want to keep it around personally. You know, running one soldier, one toy tank, since, you know, we're running like 3 engines basically in this deck. But yeah, I definitely like the Toybox engine. I wouldn't remove it personally. Anyway, we're gonna get into those showcases, and then I guess I'll show a replay. I was doing pretty good. I got to Diamond 1 today with this deck. I could have probably made it to Master, but you know, I had streamed. We played for like 3 hours. I was like, you know, 3 hours of gameplay, that's enough. So yeah, I'm probably gonna try to make it to Master with the runic variant or with a different deck, who knows. But either way, let me take you to Duel Room, and we're gonna check out a couple of combos. All right, so here we really only have Astellar to combo and like a spell to discard. This isn't like ideal, but actually I do kind of want to show you because you definitely can get into Centurion combo off of just Astellar. So actually I think that might be valuable to show here, because this will be sometimes your scenario, your hand, right? So let's say we discard Phalanx here, and Phalanx is pretty good in the grave already. One thing you could do, you could just go straight for Primera, and obviously off of Primera you basically get your full setup for the Centurion engine. Alternatively, you can get there later. So like, let's say we go Sylvie. We can go Sylvie Search. We can add the Tails of the White Forest to our hand here. Then with these two, we can go into our Arciella, just like so. And you'll see it's actually really easy to get into Centurion full combo off of just Astellar. So you can go Arciella, discard the Tails, and you don't want to do this yet. You're going to search a Woes. Now, because you sent a spell to the grave for a monster effect, you get to add back, summon back the Astellar from the graveyard. So we're going to do just that here. And it's incredibly simple, actually, the way this deck works. So, you know, we'll set the tails. You know, it's that simple. We can go tails right now also. You know, we can build a little bit of advantage. A thing you could get here is LZ, for example. LZ is really, really good because you could send the woes to the grave, get another summon. So we can do that later. But here you could go for the level 8 Diabel with these two. Diabel uses a tuner synchro as material, so she does get to add back a spell or trap from the grave to the hand. So you can go for this, and you can add back the Phalanx, or you can also choose to leave it in the grave so that later you can link away your synchro, your Centurion synchro, and then bring it back so that you can place a card in your back row. So I'm actually gonna leave Phalanx in the grave. It's also a good way to play around Nibiru, and we're just gonna add back the tails to the hand here. So add back the tails, that's good enough for me. Now you just go for the graveyard effect of Sylvie, you know, shuffle back the Arciella, and there you go. You've got a level 4 tuner and a level 8 synchro, and this is full Centurion combo. And you never, like that was a 1.5 card combo. That was just Astellar, discard a card, you know, and from there, like, you just make Auxilla, and the rest is history. The rest is history, honestly. You go Auxilla, you can search the field spell. So we're gonna go for this, search the field spell. You know, you will need a card to discard. So like here, I would probably discard the extra copy of Astellar. You know, it'll be hand dependent. But you guys probably know how Centurion plays. We're gonna do this very, very quickly here. You know, you put Trudea in the back row. You can go Trudea, summon the Trudea, change the level, doesn't matter. Use the effect again. Put her in the back row. Put the Primera in the back row. Go for Primera effect. And again, this is all off of one Astellar, right? And it's really, really good. It's not even just this. It's not even just Centurion combo. With Primera, you want to add the flash spell. And the flash spell, since you have a card in the back row that's a monster, you can go for the flash spell, get a level 8 on the field. With these two, you can already get a Blazer that early. You can get a Blazer this early. You know what I mean? Get a Blazer on turn 1, then you can make like Supernova on the follow-up turn. Like, it's crazy. It's really, really good. So we go like Crimson, target Auxilla. And here we go. We got a Blazer on the field. Craziest part is we are not done, because then we can go LZ. We can discard the Woes of the White Forest. We can summon LZ. We can go for the Rusia. We can activate Rusia in hand to special summon it. We can activate Woes Engrave to set it, so we get back our Woes, which is really, really good. This was all off of one copy of Astellar. Like, it's pretty crazy. Then, you know, you could use this and discard a card. Like, for example, we already used Tales of the White Forest this turn. Personally, I would just discard the Tales of the White Forest just to get that free draw, just because it's really nice to have. See, like a droplet, like that doesn't hurt at all, right? Then we have Wake Up Centurion in the grave. We already have Phalanx in the grave, but I like using Wake Up Centurion, and I should have done this before the draw, so I'll just tell you right now. Before you draw, you probably want to go Wake Up and dump one of your field spells. You don't really use your field spells again, so, you know, you don't really want to top deck your field spells once you've used it originally. But anyway, from here, there's a couple of ways that you can play it. I mean, you could just go for a Stardust Charge Warrior and get yourself a draw. You have a name in the grave that you can shuffle back, you know, so there's actually quite a bit that you can do here. Another thing, like, honestly, there's just so much you can do. Okay, so let's do this. For example, you can use these two, right? Use these two, go into a Stardust Charge Warrior, get a free draw. That's pretty good. Get a draw. I mean, it's really going to depend on what you want to do, but then you can go for like Rusia effect, shuffle back the Diabel, you know, summon the Rusia. Then with these two, we can make like a Baron, and that's like really solid, you know. Like, I mean, you can't really sleep on that. Got a Baron on the field. Could have put it in the extra monster zone, but you know, it is what it is. So like, this is a pretty damn respectable board. We have a Omni, we have Baron, we have our Woes, which is going to allow us to flip all our opponent's monsters face down on their turn. If we get like a level 4 on the field, so that we yeah, so like, there's just a lot that you can do with this setup here. And plus, like, we went so plus on the hands too. Like, we have like Droplet that we drew into, we have a bunch of called buys. Like, we went super plus. This was all just off of one Astellar. It's a 1.5 card combo, but it's still like really crazy. And you could have went a different way too. Like, you could have went for example, you could have went for this card here, the Silhouette Rabbit. Silhouette Rabbit would have set up the Azurune in the grave. You get a summon negate, and also when you summon your Centurion cards, you would get to pop a back row, for example. So there's a lot that you can do. Now, I'm not gonna go like, you know, past turn and show a bunch of interaction, because I don't want this to take too long, but just giving you an idea of how these archetypes glue together so well. I think just showing that one card combo with Astellar, and again, you could have went a bunch of different routes with this, because there's like a ton of ways that you can play out your combos. It's definitely a very like flexible deck where I really don't think your combos are going to look the same every turn. So, you know, you're going to have to practice the deck, get used to it, and learn a bunch of lines as you play it. But yeah, we can do another one. I want to show you with Toybox how crazy it gets. All right, so here we have Toybox and Sylvie. This is definitely not the ideal hand, but we're just going to play it out with this because honestly, like I said, with this deck, there's going to be so many combos that you need to learn. It's definitely not the most linear deck. So instead, let's just learn our tools like as we draw them. So, you know, you have Toybox, you have Sylvie. You should be good to go if you don't get interrupted, let's say. So you would like normal summon Sylvie here. Sylvie can search the tails of the White Forest. We already have woes. So now you would definitely want to go for tails right away, and you would grab the LZ since you already used your normal summon. At this point, you can go for LZ, send the toy soldier to the graveyard to special summon the LZ, add to your hand the Rusia, and we're just kind of going to ignore the other one. We go for toy soldier effect, and here we go. So so far we're at 3 summons. Toy soldier can search a card. We're just going to add a toy box here. And at this point, you use your 4th summon. You can summon the Rusia. So this is your 4th summon. And as you can see, this whole line was Nibiru safe. You can make Baron de Fleur right away using this, this, and this. And look, we're kind of freestyling, right? We're using the hand that we have to make it work. So for example here, well, you could use Baron to pop the toy tank, or you could send the toy tank with this and get a free draw. So we're going to do just that. We're going to send the toy tank to the grave, get a free draw. Very nice. We drew into the field spell, which is insane. But I think we're just going to act as if we didn't draw into the field spell. We're going to pretend that this was something else, just, you know, for the sake of the combo that I was about to show. So now we could go for toy tank effect and summon the Primera that was in our hand. So Primera in hand was not ideal earlier, but now we're making it work. You know, we're making it work. We can go for Primera effect here. We can add to our hand the stand-up Centurion. And we can activate stand-up Centurion, and we'll just discard the card that we drew that is definitely not stand-up Centurion. So we'll just discard that. And then we can summon, well, put Trudea in the back row. And this whole line was safe from Nibiru, so that's kind of nice. Change the level of the monster, make it level 8. Now we can go into a synchro, and we could go for Auxilla, search the trap. But unfortunately, in this scenario, we do need to go for the Auxilla to guarantee that we have all the things that we need. I'll show you why. So basically with Auxilla, we can grab the flash spell. We really want the flash spell here just because we only get to put 1 monster in the back row. And we want to use this guy, Rusia. We want to use him with the woes to get the effect to flip all our opponent's monsters face down. So with the Auxilla here, you're going to want to grab the Wake Up Centurion just to make sure that, like, basically you can get a level 8 token plus your Primera on opponent's turn to make another level 12 synchro. You know, so like, yeah, it's not the perfect hand. You know, you got to set Wake Up Centurion, set Imperm, and we have another toy box that kind of just does nothing. And we don't have Phalanx in the grave, but it's still like a really strong board. In this case, I am going to pass turn just because much of our interaction is going to be on opponent's turn and much of our setup. But here, like, you can put Primera in the back row, for example. Then on opponent's turn, as soon as they draw, basically, you can go for your Wake Up Centurion, get yourself a level 8 token on the field here, like so. And then, like, you know, as soon as they do anything, basically, you'll be able to oh my god. As soon as they do anything, yeah, okay, perfect. Oh, they're going for that. In that case, we might as well use it right away. I mean, if they're going to get rid of it, we might as well try to plus off of it. And so we're going to do this. We're going to summon a level 2 from our deck, and we're just going to plus off of it, right? So we would go like Astellar, special summon. Would go into our Arciella, since there's really no point in going for the one that flips our opponent's monsters face down. So, you know, you just go for an Arciella, nice and easy, nothing too crazy. And, you know, you could get the Arciella effect to, you know, send your toy box to the grave, for example, and you get to add LZ to chain block it. That's always nice. You know, it definitely doesn't hurt. So definitely just do that. Add the LZ back to the hand. And, yeah, to the hand, you can add a Veiler with your Arciella, so you do get an interruption off of it. And then Astellar could summon. You don't want to do this because you really want to summon your Primera and get yourself either a Blazer or a Supernova, depending on the deck. You know, you can go Primera effect, of course, chain block it, all that stuff. But yeah, I'm just kind of showing you, like, these decks, like, a lot of your hands, even if they look awkward, you know, you can definitely do some pretty insane things with them. Like, you could definitely set up some stuff that's kind of ridiculous. So here we go. We got our Crimson Dragon. Primera is going to add to our hand. We can add a Phalanx here, for example, and then Crimson Dragon effect. target the Auxilla, summon the Blazer, and we'll put the Blazer in the extra monster zone just to not have to deal with a potential anima, even though that never happens these days. And yeah, I mean, like, that's a super respectable setup. We searched a Veiler on opponent's turn. We still have like the Imperm that we had, our Omni Negate. We still have our Baron Omni Negate, you know, and that was like off of a really awkward hand. You really don't want to draw Sylvie, and you really don't want to draw Primera, and we still like we're able to get to here. So that just kind of goes to show the deck is really crazy. The Toybox engine adds a ton to the deck, and it really does help glue everything together, in my opinion. So I really do recommend running it. Should we do another one in solo mode? Like the first one was an awkward hand, this one was an awkward hand. Maybe we do like a god tier hand, and then we'll be done for solo mode, and we can go check out like a replay or two or something. I think that's what we're gonna do. All right, so here we go. This is basically a god hand, other than not having Ash. You really want Ash to be able to stop Max C usually with this deck, and obviously having Toy Soldier is not ideal because we'll just be placing it in the back row with Toybox, so we are going kind of -1 here. But the amount of advantage we get from Toybox makes it totally worth it, so it's totally fine. So here you go. You know, you would set up the Toy Soldier, set up the Toy Tank in the back row, and yeah, this whole line goes so crazy. So we're gonna go for Astellar here, and we can go Astellar effect, send the Toy Soldier to the graveyard, and we can summon from our deck the Sylvie. So we get the Sylvie. Sylvie effect activates, and you can chain block the Sylvie with the graveyard effect of Toy Soldier. Toy Soldier will special summon from the grave here. Very good. So Toy Soldier summon from the grave. Sylvie can add to your hand a copy of Tales of the White Forest, and then Toy Soldier can add to your hand a copy of the Rusia or a copy of Primera. Honestly, we're gonna get Rusia off of LZ anyway. I mean, you can just get it right now. Primera you could summon with the Toy Tank, so that's pretty good. I think we're gonna get a Primera here. And yeah, the whole idea basically is we're gonna go for Tales of the White Forest while we have these guys here. We're gonna grab LZ. So this was 3 summons, right, so far? We're just gonna drop a Baron on the field right now, not have to worry about it anymore. I just don't want to think about it, you know? I just don't want to think about it anymore. So we're just gonna do this. Summon Baron right away off of 3 summons. So Nib safe line already a good sign. We can go for LZ, send the Toy Tank to the graveyard here. Special the LZ. Trigger, add to our hand the Rusia. Very, very good. And then we can trigger our Toy Tank in the grave to special summon it. Special summon the Toy Tank, activate Rusia. We can special summon Rusia here. Very good. We can use our Toy Tank to get into Primera. It's really not a bad play at all. You know, we go kind of plus with it. So special summon the Primera here. And we already have stand-up Centurion, but we'll just, so yeah, I mean, we'll just pretend that we don't again, just, you know, for the sake of showing a combo here. So, you know, we can go stand-up Centurion right away, or we could go for the draw with Rusia if we wanted to. Honestly, I don't think it really changes much here. I think I'm just going to go straight for stand-up Centurion. I'm just going to go straight for it. Activate stand-up, discard whichever card. Put in the back row our Trudea. Activate Trudea. Special summon it, change the level, and we're just gonna go here. I would probably go into leg just because we have like basically everything we could possibly need. You could go, I guess you could go Auxilla to grab the spell again. It's not bad. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can do that. Yeah, we'll do this. Go for the spell. Go for the spell. Get the flash spell out. The Wake Up Centurion. Yeah. Get Wake Up here. Here I would just go for Arciella and send the Toybox to the grave basically to grab the trap. So Arciella, send the Toybox to the grave. And what's cool is, I mean, yeah, we're later into our combo, but we can still do our stuff, you know? So basically we get to do this. We get to grab our woes. If we already had woes, then we would grab Veiler. We get the graveyard effect of Astellar from sending a spell to the grave. So special Astellar. Then, you know, we have these guys over here, so we can still make another 12. We can go for this right here, using these two, the level 8. Yeah, we're so well set up. Oh my goodness, this deck is so insane, actually. Holy, dude. Holy. Okay. From grave to hand, I mean, you can add Toybox to generate more advantage, because you can, it's not a hard once per turn. You can use Toybox like once per turn every time you activate it. So I would probably actually grab Toybox in this case. just to get those cards back in the back row and just generate a bunch of advantage with them. Here, you know, we could go for like one of these. Yeah, shuffle back this one. There we go. Summon it. Very good. Using these two, you can make, you know, your Crimson Dragon. You could also do Silhouette Rabbit, and that's a totally respectable play as well. You get a summon negate off of it. I think generally speaking, if you can, you'll probably want to go for a Blazer most of the time. So we could go like Crimson Dragon here. Go for a Crimson effect, targeting the Auxilla. And just summon a Blazer. I think we're not going to summon a Link this turn, so we can just put the Blazer up here just to get some extra space. The extra space is useful because you want a space for whatever you summon to synchro with woes. So, you know, you can put like Rusia here, set the woes, got Imperm. We set the Wake Up Centurion to use it on opponent's turn, and in end phase, the Auxilla will put one of our Centurion cards back into the back row. Toybox we can just keep in hand for now and just use it next turn. So here I would just go pretty much straight to end phase and just go for Auxilla effect. And yeah, you know, it doesn't really, you probably want to put Primera here just to thin your deck out a bit more. As soon as your opponent draws, same concept as the last one. You know, you go for Wake Up Centurion, get a level 8 right on the field here. There you go. So level 8. Then you don't want to do that just yet. I mean, honestly, you could. It honestly doesn't really change much. You could literally just make your 12 right now and just summon Primera and use the Primera for the woes, honestly. It actually would not be a big deal. Yeah, you totally could do that. Yeah, this deck is actually really, really insane, dude. It's really good. Okay, so let's go for Primera here. You know, obviously we're just playing against the bot. I'm just showing you all our interactions. So since we special summoned a Spellcaster, we do get to add back LZ, which is pretty nice, actually. That does help a lot in the grind game to be able to add back LZ a bunch of different times. Then we can go for stand-up Centurion, you know, and we get to summon our Supernova, which is really awesome. So use this, you know, go into a Supernova using the Crimson Dragon. LZ comes back to hand, gets you some nice advantage. We can add one of these to hand. You know, you can add like the Phalanx. It's such a good card. Go for the effect of Crimson Dragon. I should have actually sent Phalanx to the grave with the Wake Up. I forgot to do it. It's not a big deal though. Anyway, so do this. You know, we can get a nice red Supernova on the field as a quick effect way to banish our opponent's entire field. And then obviously they set a monster, and we're playing against the bot, so I'll just show our last interaction here. It would be woes. Woes you could summon either of your level 2s, doesn't really matter which one. Go just like we did last time. You know, you would go Arciela here in this scenario just because you don't need to flip anything down. Just go Arciela. Arciela activate. You know, send a card either from your hand or field to the grave. I would honestly probably send the stand-up at this point because I don't think it's going to be coming up very much anymore. But you can keep it around. Like, it doesn't really matter because you can add back spells and traps so easily in this deck from the graveyard. So we just do this, grab a Veiler, you know, and this is really just if you don't think you'll need to flip all your opponent's monsters face down. You go into this and you can search a Veiler, which is a nice little like bonus interruption that you can get. Then we could bring back the Astellar from grave. Usually this doesn't get to live very long, but if it does, we can make our level 8 synchro next turn and call it a day. Our opponent activates it's extremely important to negate card here. We're not going to stick around with this bot, but you get the idea. You get the idea. All right, so I'm sure all that was enough to like help you if you're not already accustomed to blending these two archetypes. It should have done the job of showing you how you can blend them. Here I do go like crazy full combo in this replay, so I figured I'd show this replay because it is a Nib safe line and it's an insane full combo with Trudea in hand, and we still make it work. So we go for Astellar here, send the Toy Soldier. We do get Veilered on our Astellar, and honestly, it does not matter. We will pop off like crazy here. So let's just fast forward a little bit. So basically, off of my I'm going to go Toy Soldier. We do Ash the Max C here. You know, like this was the God Hand. So we summon the Toy Soldier. Toy Soldier search the Rusia. I will say, like, Ash is pretty much, I mean, Max C is pretty much the only hand trap that you're ultra mega scared of. Everything else, like, you can kind of play through. Maybe Ghost Ogre, depending. Sometimes Ghost Ogre on Toybox can be pretty annoying if you don't have much else. But other than that, I'd say, like, for the most part, the main hand trap I'm worried about is Maxi. Everything else we can play through pretty damn well, honestly. At least from my experience today, it's been really pretty easy to play through hand traps. So anyway, we get Rusia here. We can special summon Rusia. Rusia send the Toy Tank to the grave. Toy Tank special summon itself. And just like that, just like that, we figured out, okay, this is not the nib safe line, my bad. We figured out a way to summon Trudea and go full Centurion combo, you know, because just getting the toy tank on the field is going to allow us to summon Trudea. Trudea can put Primera in the back row, and we can do our whole Centurion thing. So it's really, really crazy. So anyway, here we go. Our Ciela, you know, send the Toybox to the grave. We get the special back our Astellar. Then with these two, we can make our level 8. All right, so here I decided to not play nib safe, basically. I just went in, so we're going to grab back our Toybox. And then we can go for toy tank effect, summon the Trudea effect, put it in the back row. We're going to fast forward here, get Primera, summon Primera, search the Wake Up Centurion, activate Wake Up Centurion, get our token, go into a level 12 synchro. We go into leg because we're already fully set up, get a draw, you know, shuffle back to summon. Then we can go into Crimson Dragon, kind of like I showed you a bunch of times today. Go into Blazer, you know, we get the Graveyard effect of Wake Up, send the Phalanx to the grave so that we can use these two to summon Silhouette Rabbit. Silhouette Rabbit can set up the Azure Rune. And this is really crazy, okay? I didn't really show Silhouette Rabbit in solo mode, but Silhouette Rabbit is crazy in this deck. Keep in mind, it says if a trap is summoned as a monster, you get to pop a back row card your opponent controls. So basically, even if you summon Centurion monsters, that will trigger the Silhouette Rabbit to pop your opponent's back row. So it's really, really good in this deck. Not to mention, obviously, a summon negate is quite good. And the whole combo we're doing here is we're sending Legasha to the grave, or legs. I call it legs because I don't know how to pronounce that. Just because we sent Phalanx, so we'll be able to bring it back. Also, we have the Diabel in the grave, so we can just shuffle it back to summon Rusia on opponent's turn. So we would have Rusia plus this to be able to flip our opponent's cards face down. So we have a ton set up right here. So we get our trap, we set Imperm, we set Woes, we activate the stand up in hand just to have it for next turn. We go for Phalanx. Phalanx set up legs, and she does have legs. She does have legs, and our opponent scoops it up. That's why I kind of described the interruptions because we won't get to see it. But yeah, this is an insane setup. This is a crazy good board. Not the nib safe line I thought I did in this replay, so sorry for being misleading, but it's okay. I showed you nib safe lines earlier anyway, so you're good on being nib safe. You know how to be nib safe, okay? I really like this deck. I don't think we're going to do more replays. I think doing 3 solo mode combos probably illustrates enough just how well these archetypes work together. So we're just going to go do the card by card. I'll describe some of my choices and maybe some interesting tidbits about how the cards interact with each other. And of course, with this video, I am assuming that you already are kind of familiar with White Forest at this point. If you're not, my last White Forest deck profile is more pure and is more so focused on introducing you to the archetype. So if you are still a bit confused about how White Forest itself works on its own, definitely just check out my last deck profile on the more pure variant, just if you want to learn more about the deck. But yeah, let's go to that card by card. Okay, and here we are for the card by card. And I do want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Jadistic from the Discord because he did help me fix up my ratios. Honestly, my ratios were all over the place and he did help me fix them. And I have been getting much better results since I fixed the list. So yeah, huge shout out to Jadistic for helping me with the list. If we want to go card by card here, we have our 1 copy of Valor. It's just 1 copy because it's searchable. And honestly, sometimes it comes up as just like a cross out target. So that's kind of nice too. Obviously, 3 Max C, 3 copies of Astellar. I showed you guys off of Astellar, you get the full Centurion line and you get your combo. So honestly, like Astellar is so crazy, such a good starter. 3 copies of LZ. This card is like, honestly, this card is honestly low-key better than Astellar. Like this card is insane. The fact that it doesn't take your normal summon and just gets so much setup and it sends for cost. So like this plus Toybox is even more crazy. Yeah, I love LZ in this deck. Triple Ash Blossom because Maxi does kill us. We really, really want to be able to stop Maxi. If you have an out to a hand trap, I would honestly recommend not shotgunning it. See what you can do. Like if you get Veilered or Impermed, see if you can play through it. Because honestly, if they go Imperm and you negate it with like Crossout or something, and then they were to go Max C, you're probably losing. Max C is really detrimental to our strategy. 1 copy of Toy Soldier and 1 copy of Toy Tank for the toy box. Don't really want to run multiple Toy Soldiers when you're already running this many different engine pieces, you know. 1 Primera, 1 Trudea. You don't want to draw them, but I don't want to run multiples because you never want to normal summon them. Sylvie is at 1 as well because this is honestly not a great normal summon. I showed you earlier you can make it work. It's not terrible, but generally speaking, you don't really want to normal summon Sylvie in this build. 1 Rusia because it's just an extender. 1 copy of Tails. This is a conditional searcher. You don't want multiple copies of Tails in my opinion. Maybe 2. Some people do 2. I don't really see the point. I think 1 is way more than enough. So yeah, keep Tails at 1 for me. Triple stand up Centurion because this is honestly the main Centurion card that you want to draw. This and like Oath. Because Oath can just set, it's just an extra copy of the stand-up basically. Triple Toybox, I think this is just an amazing card. I really think you should play this. The amount of just, you know, value you get from this engine is ridiculous. It's really, really good. 2 called by, 1 cross out to out hand traps, 3 droplet. This is just your main board breaker. Droplet can feel iffy in this deck, but honestly, going first, it's insane to set, it's insane to draw, and going second, it's still like one of your best tools to be able to go for game and to be able to play through your opponent's board. And it's really not impossible to use. It's just you have to get used to being smart with it. Also, Toybox plus droplet is completely broken. You get to negate 2 of your opponent's cards, and they can't respond. And also, you get full combo from sending 2 cards to the grave from the field with Toybox. So you go like Toybox, set 2, droplet, send those 2 to the grave. They summon themselves. You get the search from your soldier. It's really insane. It's really broken. Won me a game. Felt really good. Wake Up Centurion. It's just part of your main like Centurion line. Triple imperm. 1 copy of Phalanx, 1 copy of Woes, and 1 copy of Azaroon. Obviously, if you don't run the Rabbit, then you don't run the Azaroon. Also, Phalanx, just a note, just the fact that you can recur it is really good. Like, it's useful to grab it back sometimes. But more importantly, because you have so much gas in this deck, oftentimes you'll want to send this to the graveyard using your Wake Up Centurion, just so you can link away whichever synchro that you went for. And then after that, well, you can bring them back with Phalanx, and that allows you to get into your like your Silhouette Rabbit. So I really do recommend running the Phalanx. 1 copy of Formula Synchron in the extra deck. This is just something to summon off of Diabel to get into Baron. Nothing too crazy. 1 copy of Stardust Charge Warrior. This is a draw and allows you to go into a level 10 synchro with a level 4 tuner. Just makes sense. Coral Dragon is a level 6 tuner. This one, you know, it can come up. It doesn't come up all the time, but it's definitely nice to have, and it definitely does come up at times. So I would just run it, you know, just in case. 1 copy of Silvera. This flips everything your opponent controls face down. It's crazy. We have, of course, our Arciela. This is an absolute must play, but you don't need more than 1. You don't need more than 1 of any of these cards because you can just shuffle them back and reuse them every turn. It's actually insane. Just the engine from like looping them with your tuners is crazy. Diabel at 1, of course, this card is insane. A poor part of your combo. 1 copy of Baron, 1 copy of Chaos Angel. Actually, a note about Diabel. Keep in mind, when you summon this card, usually you have your Arciela in the grave. So you summon this card, you can shuffle back Arciela using like your Rusia or your Sylvie, summon them, and you have a level 4 tuner plus your Diabel. You can go straight into an Auxilla, and Auxilla searches the field spell. That is full Centurion setup to get a Blazer on opponent's turn at the very least. So normally, if you can get the Diabel, you can get your full Centurion setup. Keep that in mind. Baron is a no-brainer. Chaos Angel is a no-brainer. Blazer and Supernova are my cards of choice as like boss monsters for Centurion. If you don't have Supernova, Saphir is really, really good as well. Sometimes, even though I have the Supernova, I consider, man, should I just throw in Saphir because it's such a good card. So definitely, you know, if you don't want to spend more UR dust, this deck is already crazy expensive. I would just throw in that Saphir. It's a really, really good card. Then you have, of course, the Crimson Dragon to get into those guys, the Legasha, the Auxilla, no-brainers. The SP, I would say, is my main flex spot. So, like, some people like to run Amritara. This is a really good card, and it definitely can come up sometimes, especially since you can make it with, like, 2 tuners. You can make it with Primera, Sylvie, or Rusia, like, any combination of those cards. You can make a Visas Amritara and then search a Reframing. So, you know, that's definitely not a bad play. So if you have that card, you know, you could throw it in instead of SP. Personally, I like having SP. I think it comes up a bit more often, and Amritara is a little bit to win more, in my opinion. So yeah, definitely SP is like your flex spot, or you could also have like Rabbit be your flex spot. But I really like both cards. I think they're well situated and pretty damn useful, so I'm going to keep them. That's it for the card by card, and also pretty much for the deck profile. I tried to get through it not too slow. You know, maybe I talked too fast in this video. I don't even know. Let me know in the comments. Did I talk too fast in this video? Did you have to watch it 0.75% speed or something like that? Let me know. Anyway, thank you for checking out the video. I appreciate it always. And leave a like, please, 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 please.